Hello everybody สวัสดีครับ My name is Siwa I'm from Thailand I have been learning Buddhism for more than 15 years and also I practice VIPASSANA meditation. Also I'm a beginner but I want to share you this is the teachings of Buddha provided by the temple monastery วัดสวนสันติธรรม Chonburi province by the teachings of venerable monks พระอาจารย์ปราโมทย์ปราโมชโช I just a translator for you translate and try to explain what is the vipassana meditation for the first step for the beginner. Actually, the truth of life drama is about us. So let's try to have mindfulness in daily life every day as much as possible, as comfortable as you can, and study deeply in your own body and mind. The thing that we call is self is comprised of two parts, the physical part and the mental part. If we can notice carefully, there are two types of suffering of mind and suffering of the body. So the physical and mental sufferings are the locations of suffering. We will practice until we will have less suffering on the body and the mind, or we will be away from the suffering. When we cling to the body, we suffer because of the body. When we cling to our feelings, sensing, thoughts from minds, we suffer because of the mind. We still suffer because of mind. How can we clean away our attachment from the body and mind? We can clean away the attachment from our body and mind when we see the truth of body and mind. Vipassana meditation is the learning the way to see the truth of body and mind. Vipassana is the way to free us from suffering, the only way. Because of Vipassana meditation, the result of that will help us to reach to the intuition, the true intuition of Vipassana wisdom that can help us to see the truth of body and mind. And that Vipassana wisdom helps us to arrive at the purity of enlightenment. The Buddha taught that people can only reach purity by the way of Vipassana wisdom. But the wisdom isn't born out of thin air. The Vipassana wisdom must be based by samadhi or peaceful meditation. The peaceful meditation will be steady when it has morality to support it. Therefore, what we need to practice, there are three main things. First, morality. Second, peaceful meditation or samadhi. And the third, vipassana wisdom. or panya, panyayan, vipassana panyayan. Shortly, in terms of wisdom, vipassana wisdom, practicing vipassana wisdom is seeing the truth of body and mind. That is seeing, knowing, sensing the truth of physical and mental. The Buddha taught us that because we see, we realize the truth of life, that we become disenchanted. It is because of this enchantment, so we release our attachment. Because of releasing attachment, there is liberation. Because of liberation, there is knowledge of liberation. That is vipassana panya, vipassana wisdom or intuition. There are no more any activities to free our mind or the mind from suffering. So in order to achieve the nirvana, so we must practice. So we should come back to practice, to knowing, seeing the truth of life, of our body and mind. There are two important tools to help us. These are sati or mindfulness and meditation, peaceful meditation, samadhi. The mindfulness is a tool to help us to recognize the existence, movement, and changes of our body and mind. Physical phenomena, mental phenomena. If we just stand still to be mindful of the body and mind, the vipassana wisdom will not occur. The tool that help to make the vipassana wisdom is not mindfulness. It is samadhi or peaceful meditation or stable meditation. In the scriptures, it is written that samadhi meditation is the nearest cause for the arising of wisdom. So just simple mindfulness that we have on our body and mind is one alone to make the truth wisdom, vipassana wisdom. The being self-aware is the mind that is well trained with meditation. Is the like a stable meditation, stable mind, that we have the power that we can focus on what there really is here and now, that exists in the truth, in the moment that we are in now, here and now. And the mindfulness is when we know, we sense, we feel our body and mind. That is mindfulness. Initially, I would tell folks to be aware of themselves. Some people would laugh at me. They would say that Long Po Pamo's teaching are off base. Why do you teach to be self-aware? Why not teach us to breathing in, to breathe out, and putto, breathe in, put, breathe in, to breathe out, for example. This is the technique or practice. The important that we use the technique like putto, 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 or breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, or movements, awareness of the movements is the purpose to wake us up, to stimulate our awareness. So the awareness is the starting point for wisdom development. But being aware is not the wisdom development in itself. It's just a starting point. The awareness is there is body and we know it so. There is mind and we know it so. There is a mind that is the knower, awakened and blissful one. This is another step, higher step. This step, you will know that you have a stable observer. An aware mind shouldn't just stay still in awareness. Aware of knowing mind need to be an observer. There is the mind that observes and the objects that are observed. There are two things happening. One is the mind that is the observer or the knower. And the second is the object that is known by another, by the knower. When these two things show off, we can call that is the correct meditation samadhi. And wisdom, vipassana wisdom, can start to arise. But before we can reach this step, the step that we have two things, the knower and the object, that something is known. We need to keep on practicing, becoming self-aware. If our mind is scattered and wandering all the time, there is no chance in order to separate mind and body, or call khandha aggregates of mind and body. So at first we should keep on practice self-aware. The way to become self-aware is to choose one object of meditation, the object that we are competent at knowing. Choose the meditation objects that you are expert in it or you like it. While you are practicing, for example, you recite Putto, 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 and then the mind strays from it, the mind wander off. You just become aware that it has. And when the mind go out again, wander out again, you realize it, you know it again. Keep on practicing like this again and again, and the mind becomes aware and stable. When you can see, you can feel and sense that the mind go out, the mind wander out and come back like this. Not just stand still, not just stop doing that. We must watch the body and mind moving and changing for it to be considered vipassana development. Just to be mindful only is not vipassana. Some claim that Ajahn Pamos teaches us that just be aware and then we can enlighten. That is a falsehood. It's not true. Awareness is the first step we must practice. People of this world love themselves over anything else, but they forget about themselves all the time. It is extremely hard to find anyone in the world who is aware. The body moves, we are aware. The mind moves, and we are aware, not lost in the world of thought. Normally, common people, is immersed in thought, get lost in thought all the time. When they look out at something, the mind wander out, stray out to eat. When listening to sounds, the mind stray out to listen. When there is scent in the air, they might stray out to smell it. When their tongue tastes, they are intoxicated by the flavor and the eating experience. When something touches the body, like mosquito, they might choose out to meet the sensation. It chooses out to the mosquito. Sometimes somebody wants to kill it, wanting revenge. They don't see themselves. That's why. Don't let the mind drift and wander away all the time. In the world full of the people who are lost, it's extremely rare to find the people in the world who are self-aware. And mostly the meditator focus on peaceful meditation. They've aimed for calmness, not for being aware of themselves. If you aim for self-awareness, we can easily transition to wisdom practice, vipassana wisdom practice. If you aim for calmness only alone, the mind will not develop wisdom. Vipassana wisdom cannot be taught by yourself. It needs mindfulness. Is the base. The result of meditation, peaceful meditation, that is the mind gets delighted and complacent and can be stuck in that's the special happy. When they die, they will become Brahman deity. If they get the average peacefulness, they can become angels or good people in the next life. That is not the purpose of Buddhist way. The purpose of Buddhism is the actual freedom, actual liberation from suffering. Interested in outside, inside, in sound and scent, flavor outside, that is lost outside. You are not aware, not be mindful.